Good evening. We've had a kind of a short video, the last one I did, the one for Beltane, or Beltana, however you want to pronounce it. Kitty cat, get out of it. So I want to do a little bit more of one here. I'm going to be, while I'm doing that, I'm going to be probably fighting cats, but also repotting. Oh, these little plants, which I will thank you to keep out of my tea, cat. Oh my goodness, I think another one's trying to come up. Look at that. These are in 4-inch pots. They've just come up. And of course, all I can remember of the name of these is the genus, which is Ricinus, but they are what you'd better known as castor plants, castor bean plants. And yes, I can hear it now. I can hear the oohs and ahs and the okay, I won't say hysterical, but the concerned inhaling. Aren't those poisonous? Yes, they are indeed. Don't eat them. Don't eat any part of them. However, what they do, they are a magnificent plant. They grow to about 30 to 40 feet. They are a tropical plant from Africa. They do grow to about 30 to 40 feet if you plant them in the ground. They probably won't get that high if you keep them in a pot. They certainly won't. In their natural habitat, they're more of a woody plant, almost a shrub or a small tree. They have the most magnificent 5 to 11 lobed leaves. Isn't that amazing? 5 to 11 lobed leaves. That and large flower and bean seed heads. That apparently also that I have heard, at least in one place, are attractive to bees. We're going to find out. Anyway, I've had these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 from a set of 10 seeds that have come up, and it looks like though that one of those 4-inch pots over there has another one that's coming up late. So I'm glad I haven't thrown out that potting soil yet, because it seems to be making a late appearance. But I'm going to go ahead and move these guys into larger pots because it's getting to where I'm having to water them just about every day. Now, in case you're wondering, no, I did not originally plan to have 8 of these plants in my garden. I wanted one as a specimen. I'm going to have it in front of the house, in an area that is sort of it's a cottage garden-esque kind of a demonstration garden in the making. Cottage garden style. Get out of my tea, cat. Sorry. It's been very hot today. I've had to wait until late in the evening to come out because it has been so hot. But I would have put these into 1-gallon pots. Cat, get out of my tea. Oh, see there? There's why I'm having trouble keeping them watered. The roots are all starting to get a little bit bound on these. So let's tease these open and peel out that. It's like a fire ant mother wanting to make a nest. Lovely already. Yep. And there we go. We're going to nestle you down in this new pot. Put some soil around you. But it should be very striking in the background of the cottage garden area. But like I said, I didn't ask. I asked for 1, not 10, which is what was sent to me. And now I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 more than I actually planned on. So we're going to be going into ever larger pots. I'm out of 1-gallon pots at the moment, or we'd be going into those. And I suppose I'm going to be selling them. Don't do it. And that thought had brought up an idea for the Hermitage. One of the traditional stories about hermits. Oh, look at there. Got flower head starting. Oops, there we go. Now maybe you can see it, although you can't focus on it apparently. But yeah, it's got a little flower head starting right there. One of the things that most religions can agree upon about hermits is that they need to make their own way. They need to kind of pay for themselves. This is true across a number of religious backgrounds. And I think that's a good thing too. I don't want to be beholden to the larger community for my upkeep. When you get beholden to the larger community, that means that they have a means of control over you too. And that's not a good thing for a hermit to feel, is that someone else has control over them. So, what they say and do. Traditionally, a hermit is a gadfly of sorts. And being beholden to someone else is not part of that. This little guy making sure there's no air pockets in his thing. There we go. Water pockets become rot pockets in a potted plant. All right, let's get some more. But the idea came into my mind to open portions of the Hermitage grounds as a nursery for plants. And I think this is going to be an interesting endeavor. Now, to do that in Texas, I do have to have a license for plant sales, beyond what you would make at a at your flea market, or, well, no, not at the flea market, but at a yard sale or something like that. And so that license costs $110, which, depending on how much I can sell for, judging from the prices I've seen in nurseries, $10 would not be unusual for a 1-gallon pot of an ordinary plant, and probably 15 would not be unusual for an unusual plant like this one, possibly even 20. So, see how I can do that. See what I can make on them. If I can sell 11 plants at $10 each, I'll have my license. Excuse me. And that'll be that. So, that's why I'm thinking in terms of having the front in sample gardens. or demonstration gardens. The little cottage garden area is going to continue to be a cottage garden area. Right by the front door. It's got a number of roses planted there, and some more cottage garden-y type plants, some salvias. There's a wild well, see, getting roots out the bottom. Oh my goodness, got fire ants. Got a fire ant nest in the middle of it. You have been on a tray in the air. How did you get a fire ant nest? Good heavens, look at that. A fire ant nest. Let's keep this away from it. Well, we wanted someplace away from the water. I assume a queen landed somewhere in your in the pot. I'm gonna have to get some orange oil and douse these with them. Won't hurt the plants. Will eradicate the fire ants. There we go. But anyway. Or maybe I should dust them with some of that diatomaceous earth I've got in there for the chickens. That could be a plan too. They don't like the diatomaceous earth. It cuts them to ribbons and lets them dry out. Okay, there we go. There's 4. There's 7. Where are my pots? Oh, there's 5 of them. I could have sworn I brought 7 of these pots out. Anyway, I will be going back to get another couple of pots, I guess. I just thought I counted 7 out when I brought them. Okay, maybe I didn't. I counted 5. I got confused. At any rate, that's what I'm considering right now. I'm considering a nursery with a number of display gardens. Including this garden, which would be the potager garden, or the kitchen garden, display garden. And the little orchard that I'm putting in would be another display garden, or a part of the potager garden, one of the two. I had been planning to put in a labyrinth walk here in the back. I can put it together as a prayer garden. Also in the front yard, a prairie garden, a meadow garden, maybe with tall grass and short grass prairie, combined, and simply a native plants garden. So I've got some good ideas, I think, and we'll see how it goes. I've toyed with 2 different names for it. One I'm most drawn to, the other not so much. Oh, I like it, it's funny. But one the community around me will enjoy, and the other one not so much. The one I like the best would be the Witch's Garden. Witch's Garden Nursery. Flowers and herbs and plants. The other name I've thought about, it actually was the first name I thought of, would be Chickens and Herbs. It's amusing, and I think the neighbors would appreciate that one more than the more on point name. So let me know what you think. What kind of name would you think for a nursery run by a polytheist hermit nun in the middle of the Bible Belt should have. Of course, I could also call it Harvest Home Hermitage Gardens and Nursery and Gardens. But that's a big mouthful, don't you think? It's a lot for a letterhead. So, let me know what you think. Oh, listen to that owl. Give us another hoot, girl. I shouldn't be so happy to hear that owl. She got one of my chickens in the past, but you know, she's just doing what owls do. And it's time for me to go. It looks like the chickens have all gone inside, and little ducklings are wandering around wondering when I'm going to let them go, put them inside, so I better go and do that. But before I do, before anybody worries too much, I'm going to give these little girls that I have now put into their new homes a good solid watering. Fill it up, let it drain. Fill it up, let it drain. Fill it up, let it drain. 5 times. Well, thank you. Thank you for being here with us. One of these days I will learn how to edit videos and be able to make these look more professional. But in the meantime, thank you for coming from Harvest Home Hermitage. Good night and blessed be. See the ducks? Hello, ducks. Hello, ducklings.